My Google Maps is doing so much noise right now.
Beautiful and different, you're unique. Perfect imperfection, you're something special, you're unique. It makes you shine, beautiful and different.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take that off. That's crazy, dude.
It's crazy, yeah. Yep, StreamYard.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it.
I'm just gonna remove it from the studio. All right, well, the topic of today's conversation, shout out to Vegan Knowledge, shout out to Queen Royalty. I see my sisters in the camp.
The Queens. Let's get it.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and talk about finding your purpose. Thank you, Queen Royalty, for that topic. She is just a topic factory. But she's a topic factory, dude.
That's right.
But you know, that right there, I do have a clip that I want to play, and I think this sums it up.
I'm thinking, like, how many mistakes have we made trying to be what they want us to be? What if we could just be who we were? Like, what would we be doing if we weren't worried about them? So I'm challenging you. When you walk out of this room, I'm challenging you to do you.
If you really want to become successful, you need to make sure that you go out and find what you are truly passionate about, not what other people tell you you should do, or what others think that you would be good at, or what others really want you to do. You need to make sure that it's whatever you genuinely and truly love and have a passion for that you will go out and pursue with everything that you have, because you need to find your purpose, and the best way to find that is to find whatever your passion is, because those are correlations. There's so many people who get stuck doing things that others claim that they will do, but they never make their own path or forge their own path to success. Because if you really want to be successful, you're going to do whatever it is that you truly love and what you genuinely enjoy doing with your time. And it's all about making sure that you're doing everything in your ability to make sure that you're finding joy out of what you do. And you need to go find whatever it is that makes you full of joy, because when you're trying to become successful, it's going to be hard and it's going to be challenging. So you need to make sure that you find something that you genuinely genuinely enjoy to do and will help motivate yourself in order to do it because you enjoy doing whatever the task is at hand. Now, other people may tell you you'll be good at something, but that doesn't mean that you'll enjoy it and truly love it. That's the key. Find what you love, and that's what your purpose will be, because if you truly enjoy it and you really do love doing it, then that's what you're meant to do. That's what you're created and molded to do.
That says it all right there. You know? I mean, if you have
Yeah.
something that you're passionate about and that you love to do, that's your purpose.
Hmm.
That's the universe's
That's
way
your
of letting you
purpose.
know
Yeah.
this is
Yep.
this is what you were put here for. You know what I mean? Just like I love
Exactly.
music.
Exactly.
I love making videos. I love doing music. I love anything that is
Yeah.
creative. And for a long time,
That's right.
I've been in sales and all that kind of stuff. And it
Hmm.
basically, you know, let me know that you're doing everything but what you were put here to do. And it's so funny how my life ended up giving me the
Yeah.
opportunity to be creative. You know?
Creative. Exactly. 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 That is so important. I mean, for a long time, I won't lie to you. JJ, like, I had a even though I was blessed by the Most High for having, a lot of talents, such as, making music and everything, and having the mind to, in order to do, technical things and everything, I've always asked myself, what is my purpose? Why am I here? You know? And there's so many times where I was wondering myself, like, especially when, we always talk about the obstacles that we go through, you know? I was just wondering myself, like, how am I with all these obstacles I'm going through? What's my true purpose on this earth? And it takes time, especially when you go through growth and everything, you know. So, it really took me time to really know what my purpose is, and sometimes I kind of like. I kind of like don't know what. Sometimes I forget that
Yeah,
you know
right.
what my true purpose is on this earth.
Yeah, it can happen to the best of us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Exactly.
especially when a lot of things happen in your life where it takes you
Uh huh.
off course. And one of the things that I've learned, and we talked about this in previous streams, is to try
Yeah.
as hard as I can to stay in the present moment. Because
Yeah.
if you're constantly focusing on things that are going on in your past and
Mm,
projecting as to what you want to happen in the future, if you're afraid of what could happen in the future, or if you're over anticipating something happening in the future, it takes your mind
gotcha.
off the present moment. You create your future with the present moment.
Present moment
So
is that.
whatever your purpose is, you need to be doing that in the moments that you're in.
Exactly. Exactly. And and that was the issue in the past. You mentioned a great point. I was thinking too much about, man, what could happen in the future.
Right.
I mean, what can happen in the future and everything. So the decisions I was making were so I was rushing with my decisions. Like I didn't, you know, I say for example I wanted to get that you know, for example, one of the biggest mistakes I made firstly when I first came in this country in America was getting my own apartment so early on. I didn't have
Mhm.
any I didn't have any like, any knowledge about having roommates or whatever. I came here as a kid. I did not know how have that knowledge, but because I wanted to rush and just do my own thing, I was making the wrong decisions instead of asking the questions. The right questions instead of surrounding myself with people. And of course, I
Right.
did not have any mentors that or anybody that I could really turn to really show me the way. So that is definitely one thing I will always advise people just in general. Just make sure you have people around you that you can turn to, you can confide in, especially when you're still trying to find your purpose, because that's going to force you to live in the moment and make proper decisions. I don't know if you've ever been in such moments, J and J, when you had to kind of like, because you did not surround yourself with the right people, the decisions that you were making were not the right decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly,
I mean, and it's
exactly.
like, it's so crazy because, I've been in those types of situations countless times, but, I usually just remove myself from that situation. As soon as
Yeah,
I find ways to remove myself from that situation because you cannot be around toxicity and expect to flourish. It's not going to work. It overwhelms you. And when you're outnumbered, it's not a healthy situation for you to be in. You know what I mean? Whether that be a relationship with one on one or whether it be in an organization that you're in.
that's right.
When you're surrounded by
Yeah,
toxicity, it keeps you from focusing on your purpose, really, because you're focusing
most
on
definitely.
fending off the demons. You know what I'm saying? You're focusing on fending off the demons pretty much, um and then
Oh
see, another
yeah,
thing too to help with purpose is you have to bring
definitely.
value to a situation. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean? Whether it be, huh? What's up? Were you trying to talk or? Okay, I think his phone might have gone out or something. I'll wait for him to come back in. But if you got to make sure you're
oh yeah,
adding value to a situation. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a relationship, whether it be those same organizations that I was talking about, when you add value, then it's kind of hard for people not to let you fulfill your purpose. Like for
purpose.
instance,
Yeah,
I'm into
yeah.
editing videos
Most
and things like that. I come to an organization, I bring that to the table. you know when I'm in a relationship, I'm a very nurturing, very giving person, as well as my partner. I expect that in return because that's what I give. So, you have to add value to a situation as well. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
as a matter
You
of
need.
fact, shout out to
Yeah,
Vegan Knowledge. I'm gonna go ahead and read this real quick. Think of some
sure.
think of something you could do without getting paid, and that you're passionate about. Right. That's the biggest clue. If you would do it and you wouldn't have to get paid for it, that's a clue to what your passion is.
Yeah,
You could do it all
that
day,
is
every
right.
day, don't even make a dime, but you love doing it. There's a way to
That
also
is right.
add that value to other people's lives. That's got to be your purpose.
Most definitely. And JJ, I lived in a culture where I always tell you, like, we're encouraged to become lawyers and doctors in the Nigerian culture. you know. So for so many years, my parents, especially my dad, was pretty much telling me, you need to go to school to do this, do that, something specific, you know. And I didn't want to do
Yeah.
it, you know. My heart was not there, So it's like the communication between me and my parents were trying to create a purpose for me instead of me making my, carving my own purpose,
Yeah.
carving my own goals and experience. It took me a while though. I won't lie to you. Until I left the house,
Yeah.
until I came to the States, and until I started. That was pretty much the only time, like, where I felt like, I could really be myself. And I started out very early, like, no, very late. Not like a lot of people, but yeah, I started
Late
out
bloomer,
very,
right?
very late. You know what I mean? I was like, and I felt ashamed of it. Late bloomer, yeah. And I felt ashamed of it. I really did. I was like, man, like, come on, am I the only one? That's why when I'm hearing your stories, it makes me feel warm because I feel like a lot of times I felt alone and everything, feeling like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that I went
Yeah.
through that experience, and that built me up.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people experience that late bloomer thing. I was a late bloomer in a lot of different things. And, but you eventually do catch up. We all catch up. You know what I mean? So, and you find
Most definitely.
out what you have that is valuable that you can bring to a situation. And one thing that I found was it also helps when you elevate others. You know what I'm saying? If your purpose is something that
Certainly.
you're good at, and it also in the process of being your purpose helps to elevate others and their existence, dude, that I mean that's the ultimate gratification right there. Not only are you uplifting yourself, but you'll find people will help you in your purpose if you're uplifting them. People like to be elevated. I know I
Exactly.
do. And if you help them in their purpose get to
Yeah.
where they're going, then they're going to help you get to your purpose automatically.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, you mentioned a great point. People like being elevated. A lot of times I elevated when I had, you know, my my brothers and sisters around me. For example, me and my brother, he's in good China, and you'll get to meet very soon. But me and him, we always practice the, you know, like we always practice the art of, you know, motivating each other, being together. Like how we always say, I don't know if you heard this saying, you can, it gets alone at the mountaintop. You know what I mean? It gets
Yeah.
real the mountaintop. And when I first came here to the States, I was like, like come through. After a few years, it took a while for him to come here, but my goal was for him to come here because I want to see my brothers win. You know what I mean? You win in a
Yeah.
group. You don't win. You don't always win alone. You get to achieve results with by doing it in a group setting. You know what I mean? The results are faster, more efficient by doing a group set in a group setting. Not to say that being self sufficient is bad, but it's great to always, work together. And me and him, we worked for years and years since we were kids. We've been together for years, and it's always doing it with somebody that you love, somebody that you share brotherhood or sisterhood with, because man, the results are beautiful. Now, it's not always gonna be the case, it's not always gonna be the case, but in most cases, it works.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. You know what I'm saying? But I
You'll
tell you
definitely be
what, one thing is to find something that you love doing. You know what I mean? Find something that you
that's right.
love doing. That's another way to help find what your purpose is. You know what I mean? And is
Most
your brother
definitely.
here now? Your brother's here now, right?
Yeah, yeah. My brother is in New York right now, and he so we were living in Seattle. Now he's gonna come and join me in North Carolina very soon. So we're just while I was looking for a place, we got an Airbnb and in New York for him. So he's in New York for a bit, and but he'll come to North Carolina very soon to join me. But we're always together. We're like two peas in a pod, you know.
Well, that's awesome,
Yeah,
man. That sounds like me
yeah,
and Jen. You know what I mean? It's like and it always
yeah,
helps to have somebody in your corner. You know what I'm saying? To
most
be your
definitely,
support group. We're each other's
most
support
definitely.
system, and it sounds like that's the same between you and your brother.
Yeah, most definitely. I wish, one thing, JJ, especially in our community, I wish that was something that was more like that was, I know there's a lot of brothers and sisters working there, but I wish that was a custom.
Yeah.
Instead of working in jealousy, work in unison. Work in
Yes.
unison. You know what I mean? Don't look at your brother or sister and feel like, oh man, that person is doing big things. I should go over them. You know what I mean? If you see
Yeah.
them doing better than you should be inspired and be like, I want to do the same thing too. I want to. How
Right.
do you
Ask
do it?
them what they're
You know
doing.
what?
Learn from them.
Learn from them exactly. You know what I mean? And if you're that person that's doing great, don't try to keep the secrets away. Tell them exactly what you're doing. That way they can do the same thing too. So it goes
Right.
both ways. You know?
Right.
Yeah,
The world needs more people that are excelling. You know what I mean? Because especially in a time like
exactly.
this, and you have COVID going on, and you got the variant going on, and you have the climate change going on, and all kinds of stuff that is basically bringing us down spiritually. And when you help others,
Exactly.
and when you push others forward, they automatically push you forward, and that helps you figure out what your purpose is in life. You know what I mean? Some people are, hey, look, just like some guys are meant to be a janitor. If you like cleaning, and you're passionate about, or you're a neat freak, you know what I mean? You can start a cleaning business.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm always looking at starting some type of business. That I guess comes from that whole
This
creative
is
thing. I'm always looking to start a business. It's like,
it
hey,
is.
I'm really good at cleaning house. I really like cleaning house. Hey, wait a minute. How about I get some supplies, get a few clients, and move into that
That's
area
right.
and build that business.
That's
If
right.
you like something as
Build
simple
that
as
business up.
cleaning a freaking house, dude, you can make an empire out of that.
Yep.
How do you think that what's that maid some kind type of maid service was built? Somebody liked to clean, so they had an idea, hey, why don't I do it
Yep.
for other people? You know what I mean? If you make a good
Other
sandwich,
people. Yep.
you
Exactly.
know, I'm like, wait a
Exactly.
minute, hold up, let me get a loan, or whatever I need to do and make sandwiches for other people because I like making sandwiches and I'm good at it. Or you like talking to people. You know what I mean? You could be a public speaker, you be a motivational speaker. Anything can help you find your
Yeah.
motivation and your purpose in life. The key is to figure out what it is that
Motivation.
you love, you know?
That is a true. Yeah, exactly. You got to figure out. Yeah, that is so true, Sister JJ. And it's interesting you mentioned about the cleaning business because one of my old friends, he's of a Mexican heritage, right? And his
Uh-huh.
whole family has a cleaning business, and they make more than they make 8 figures every year just by having the cleaning business. They have their own cars,
Mm-hmm.
their own, with their own branding and everything. And they're very famous. They are very famous or well known cleaning business in Washington State, in Seattle. You know, that
Yeah.
is that is best. Like like instead of taking creating something completely new, take something that's needed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
that's needed, something that because that's pretty much what a business is. You're providing a service that's pretty much in demand. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And people can use that. So that's what they did. And that's the same thing that we can do too. Whatever it's, you don't have to always think outside the box. Whatever you can do with your hands, you're doing great at it, and you know, use that and create something. And you'll find your purpose there. And like we always say, it may not be easy at first, but definitely it's going to be rewarding in the long term.
Yes, yes, yes. Look, two things come to mind when I'm talking about that. Number one is to get started. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
to your point, you don't
exactly.
always have to reinvent the wheel. Okay? There are business
Mm,
models out there that you can, like you said, basically do the same thing that they're doing, just do it in your own way. Because
in your
they've
own
already created that path. If it's not something that you have a lot of startup capital and stuff like that, and you're trying to be innovative, okay, that's fine. But if it's a niche, listen, the biggest way to get rich, honestly, is to find a need and solve it.
yeah.
So
Facts,
the
facts,
if you
facts.
find a need and solve it, and it's also something that you love to do, well, then you hit the jackpot right there.
You
You
hit
have
the jackpot.
literally hit the jackpot.
Yeah, exactly, Sister J.
Get
You mentioned a
started
great
and
point.
be consistent in what you're doing.
Gotta be consistent. Exactly, Sister J. You mentioned a great point because let me give you an example, right? Because this is related to even purpose, but it's a bit different. But in customer service, right? What makes the customer happy at the end of the day? What makes them happy?
Honestly, if you solve their problem.
Exactly. If they solve the problem, exactly, exactly. When I first started doing customer service for a long, like not a long time, but I say a period of 1 and 2 years, I was getting a lot of frustrated customers because I was like, But why are they not happy? Because I wasn't providing a sort of solution for them. The
Right.
solution doesn't even need to be solving exactly the problem, but the fact that even escalating the problem or getting them to somebody, or even providing the right, like, the answer to them, you know, like,
Yeah.
straightforward, that's a solution in itself, and they are happy with that. You know what I mean? So solving the problem and staying consistent with it is very, that's one thing that society always wants. People
That's
always want, they
key.
want they want a solution. Yeah, exactly. And you gotta stay consistent. And
Shout out
another
to
example,
Anthony King.
shout out to you, I'm thinking
I
Anthony
see you,
King,
my
man.
brother.
Shout out to you, homie. Thank you so much for showing support to Sister JJ. But
Yeah, Anthony King. AK-47, baby.
AK for exactly. But you get what I mean, like,
I
with
do.
trading with, trading, for example, because I do a lot of trading, with options and everything, which we're going to talk about, more with what I do. But basically, with trading, you got, when if you want to make consistent gains, if you want to make, income, you got to be consistent with it. Whether that's
Yeah.
2% a year, or 5% a year, or 10%, you want to stay consistent. You want a portfolio that's consistent. If you lose money and you gain money every month or every year,
That's
or
part of it.
gain, that's part of it, exactly. But you gotta stay consistent. You gotta stay consistent. So it's very important. Just like in anything, learning, gotta stay consistent. So in order to find your purpose, my point is, you always gonna stay consistent. Because if you lose that consistency, your purpose is gonna waver a lot of times, and you want to make sure you can stay consistent regardless of what obstacles or what bad times come through to you.
You know what happens there? That's an excellent point you just made. If you know what you need to stay consistent, which is another
Mm,
thing,
mm.
self-discipline.
Facts,
You need
facts, facts.
self-discipline because self-discipline is a huge part of staying on track to finding your purpose. If you found it and you know it makes you happy and you know it solves a need for people, and you're being consistent, you have to stay consistent. And the only way to stay consistent is to have self discipline. Like the story I told
Self-discipline, yes.
yesterday with Jen and I getting up at 2 in the morning. Who the hell wants to get up at 2 in the morning and go get a McFlurry for somebody? But
Yep.
that's self discipline. Nope, get your ass out of bed because this is what you signed up for. You know what I
That is
mean?
it. That
This
is
is
it.
what
That
you
is
signed up.
it.
If you want this business to be successful, you have got to do the little things that is going to make it successful. And right now, you may not want to do it, but you got to act in spite of being uncomfortable. We talked about being uncomfortable yesterday. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
You got to
That's
act
right.
in spite of uncomfortability, be
Yep.
consistent and have
Be con-
self-discipline. That will make you drive towards your goal. Shout out to King
Sister,
C. I see you, my brother.
such you can see, man. Yeah, but Sister JJ, you're so right. Self-discipline. So many times did I forget about self-discipline. That what it takes to have self-discipline, especially early on in when at 18 years old, when I first came out, 19, early 20s, I was very, not say very irresponsible, but I lacked a lot of self-discipline in myself in order to be successful at what I do, you
Yeah.
know. So I had to learn through trial and error, and I think self-discipline is built through trial and error, because my parents, yeah, they taught me some self-discipline, but when you live alone and when you don't have anybody watching what you do, and it's just you and out there in this world alone,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to college when I was going to college and everything, working, coming back, having my own stuff and everything. I liked a lot of self discipline. So I had to learn through self discipline to be responsible and everything. And when I did that, obviously through trial and error, I got better. And my self discipline, you know, it just got higher and higher and higher over time,
Yeah.
sometimes I may mess up. Sometimes I
Hey,
may mess up, but
Hey,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that's how we are. We're human beings. Shout out to Vegan
Yeah.
Knowledge jumping on the panel. What's going on?
Hey, it's
Shout out.
when you guys were talking about that, it reminded me like consistency. It reminded me of what you've been talking about all week, kind of like
Yeah.
on and off of staying in the moment, because the consistency is just a series of those moments all together. Like if you ever realize you before you know it, you've done something for a month or a week or a year. It's just a series of, you know what, you got up every day, you did that same thing, or every, day at the same time, every evening you did the same thing, like your stream, the same way each day that you do something. It's just doing it right now, like you said, when we would get up and go out on the delivery, it was acting in that moment to go do it. But before you knew it, somebody was saying, hey, they're really reliable because every time I call, they're there. But it's about that moment and making something happen and not straying, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
relationships too are consistent.
You know something? You guys are all witnessing me growing. You guys are all witnessing it. How many
Yep.
times Anthony
We are.
King, King C, Cream Royalty, you guys can attest to this because you guys were coming on my streams way back when. Come on one day, didn't hear from me for a week. Came on for, 2 days
Yeah.
straight, then didn't come on for another couple of weeks. Consistency. I've been on here almost for 2 weeks straight now. I am developing the habit of having the self discipline to come on here every day at 6 o'clock, and you guys are witnessing it. You're
And they're
witnessing the
consistent
growth.
also, which
Yeah.
is
We're
amazing.
definitely.
They are consistently here to see it, which is,
It's
it makes a
amazing.
big difference too, And I don't
That's
know if you
that's what
saw
I
in the chat,
love.
it's I put
Yeah.
the sun
Yeah.
sets at this rises every morning, sets every evening. It's just like the nature is all ultimately so consistent. We could learn so much from it because we just have to be that way in our life to pursue our goals and our, whatever else it is that we want to accomplish, even our personal relationships.
Shout out to Markrina Daniels. Very
Exactly,
good
Jen.
point.
Yeah. And exactly, Jen. And just to add to what you said, I'm so proud of you, JJ. I really am, Sister JJ. I'm
Thank
so,
you.
so proud
Thank
of
you,
you.
my
I know
brother.
it gets cliche. I tell you that every
We
single
are all
day, but
proud of you.
I'm so, so proud of you. We're so proud of you because the amazing growth that I've seen from you in a few, just a few weeks, right?
Wow. Thank
Just
you.
being consistent and providing that amazing knowledge, the impact that you've had on my life, all right, that you have on my life, and so many other people's, but I can speak for myself. How What a great impact that you had in me. It's just been beautiful. It's been beautiful, and I thank you for it. I really do, and I
You know
truly, truly
what? You are
appreciate it.
welcome, my brother. And hey, if you are the only person that I affect, I have done my job. Hopefully, there'll be many more. But if I have
Yeah,
made that much of a difference in your life and I've helped you in some way, I am doing what the universe put me here for because that's my purpose. That's what I keep preaching all
that's
week that I've been wanting to do. What did I write on Twitter the other day? Healing and helping the world one stream at a time. That's what I want to do, whether it be through music, whether it be through video creation,
yeah,
whether it be through doing these live streams and giving people a positive message. That's what I was put here for. And I'm not ashamed of it. And I will continue to do it. And if it elevates people, then
yeah,
that's what the hell I was put here to do. And I'm glad to do it. And I could tell that's what my purpose is because I'm passionate about it and I love doing it.
yep,
And
There's
you
the
are
clue right there.
very
I'm,
you
I'm a
are
living
very good at it
witness.
naturally too. So you've definitely impacted my life. So you got
exactly.
two already. And that's the beauty of like this type of environment with YouTube, because you could be helping people that you don't even know that
Right.
you are. That's how
That's
amazing.
right.
I feel like people want to say different things about technology. All in all, though, that's what's so beautiful about it. Somebody cannot feel alone by popping this little box up on their phone or on their computer and hear this message, whereas before they might have been isolated.
Yep. And DZ, you too. You have had amazing growth as well, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And you've been here
Thank you.
because you have shared many stories with people, and that takes courage to put yourself out there on a live stream where anybody could be listening.
Yeah,
And that takes courage and growth
yeah,
right there, just to share those experiences, because it makes you stronger when you get it out. You know what I mean? I
it
think you
does.
might be a spiritual healer as well, my brother. You never know. Because you obviously seem
Thank you.
passionate about it. And Jen, you're a teacher.
I,
You love teaching people, you
yeah,
know?
thank you.
I do. I think the best way
Oh man.
to help impact people is to tell people your personal experience. And I think that's what makes it so like you can identify with people and people can identify with you, you know? And like I was saying earlier, that's something that I've even developed that I've always wanted to teach and I wanted to help people, but I didn't realize where that would come about. And it's funny how life lead you in certain ways that who knew at like 42 I would come across this, this journey that I'm taking with health and be able to now help others. And I feel like it's kind of all coming together with you with the mind, and then
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and the mind, body, and soul kind of. It's all like it's coming together that what we thought when we first met, that we were meant to help people and meant
Yeah.
to do something, and we thought, hey, it might have been bringing the food, but now we might have found that
That
it's
was a
something a
stepping
little more
stone,
deep.
right? That was a
Right.
stepping stone to teach us self discipline, because now
Yeah,
I've tapped into whatever I was doing then to do this consistently. It was almost like a car that didn't want to start.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, boom, boom, boom. I'm moving. I'm moving. It's been like how many days? 8, 9 days now consistently. So now the engine is going and I'm driving down the road. Queen Royalty, if you're still listening, you might be a producer, sister. You might be a producer. You come up with topics and ideas, and that's what producers do.
exactly. Hidden
You
talent,
know?
queen. Hidden
She might be
talent.
a producer. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? She does not
yep.
choose to put herself out in front of the camera all the time and always be the one that's in the forefront, but she likes being behind the scenes supporting, and she has wonderful ideas.
I'm
You
hearing
might be
it.
a
Royalty
producer.
production.
Yep,
You
See, there
heard it
you
here
go with the
first.
name.
yep, yep.
And I don't know if
Just
the
give her
universe
give
moved
her
me to
some
tell you
royalties.
that. I don't know if the universe moved me to tell you that, but it seems like you have a passion for it. And
Yep.
boom, there you go. That
Oh
could
man.
that could be something for you.
Let me add you what you just said, JJ, Sister JJ. Let me just add you what you just said, man. Queen is a very talented, queen. Okay, she's a very talented queen, and she definitely has a knack for providing great ideas and great topics. Just she might not know it, but she does. You know what
That's
I
what
know?
producers
Sometimes she
do.
say,
That's a
"Oh man,
producer's
I'm
job.
doing this." Yeah, producer's job. And man, you are a talented queen, and really, you're amazing. And I'm so grateful. We're so grateful to have you as part of our lives, man. I can genuinely say you're great. I do consider you a great friend, my friend. Thank you, Queen, for always being just there at the all the time with us, man. You're
Yeah.
definitely somebody that is you can see that you truly are passionate about what you do, helping people and everything. We need people like you and Sister JJ, so power to you, Queen Royalty, man. Truly appreciate you.
And sweetie, you know what? I'm so glad you jumped on this live stream, because you have helped me, like with the health issues that I've been doing. And we're talking about consistency here. Everybody has heard me mention that I have eyesight issues. And Jen has been telling me, hey, listen, honey, if you go raw vegan for a month, I'm telling you, you will
Yeah,
experience a lot of things. Not saying it'll cure your eyesight, but not saying it won't either, because it has cured a lot of things for a lot of different people. And I have failed to consistently go raw vegan for a month, even though I watched her do it. You can see her picture right there, the before and after. I watched her do it
yeah,
consistently for 6 months, let alone 1 month. And I'm like, wow, I have had discipline in other areas. Why can't I seem to master this? Well, as it turns out, when I started doing these live streams consistently, which was what, like last week sometime or week before, like the 18th, I remember telling you, DZ, that I was fasting. Remember that weekend?
Yeah, I
And,
remember. Yeah.
and I fasted for Saturday and Sunday and all day Monday. And then I ate a huge raw salad at the end of in the evening, Monday, right? Well, since then, I have literally dropped, this is from the 18th of the month now, I have dropped about 20 pounds. And
Wow.
I did that starting with that fast. I cleansed my palate. I dealt with hunger pains because, after 3 days, the ghrelin goes away, which is the hunger hormone.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to parallel that with these live streams. So I'm going to stay
Yeah.
consistent with both of them at the same time. Creating two habits at the same time is hard enough to create one. And it takes 30 days to do that. So I have consistently, Monday through Friday, I've been eating that salad at the end of the night. Nothing throughout the day, not one thing, just drinking water consistently.
And this is not just any salad,
Oh man, that's
Mitch. This
beautiful.
is a
It's
salad
massive.
that is like, it's a lot of nutrients. It's a lot.
And it's alkaline. It's only got lettuce, tomato, red onion, cucumber, olives, and red bell pepper. That's it. And avocado. And kale.
Yum,
But all of
yum,
those are
yum,
alkaline foods.
yum.
That all of those are alkaline foods. But the
Wow.
bottom line is the consistency has been there, and that's what's worked.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing every day. It definitely the same meal every evening, and you can use variety with that. We're just like, we enjoy eating the same thing each night, but as long as you're getting everything in that you need, it is really what it's all about, a variety of things. King C said, when you find your purpose, it's so awesome.
Wow.
However, if you understand your purpose, it's no longer work or chores. So true. Just like it'll get
Absolutely.
easier for you to keep doing that the more you see results behind it. Like, you're motivated now to keep doing the same thing if it's working.
Oh no, King C. Look, when I was coming on, when I was coming on before, and it's so funny that you mentioned that because I still have that clip in StreamYard where I did the little intro for the Kevin Bacon challenge. King C and I had this thing where, for whatever reason, I love doing the Kevin Bacon challenge. Have you ever heard of that, DZ? 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Oh no, I haven't.
Okay, basically, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon works like this. Kevin Bacon has worked with so many actors in Hollywood that he has you can literally link almost any actor to Kevin Bacon within six. Sometimes he's acted directly, like say it would be me and you. Sometimes me and you might be in a
Yeah.
play, right? But or he's acted directly with the person. But if you can't get it with right away, if he hasn't acted with that person, he's acted with somebody who has acted with that person.
So you're like linking it to him.
That
And
is
I
crazy.
thought you stopped doing that because you went vegan. You couldn't talk about bacon.
You know what? You know what? She is full of them, DZ. Don't even give her the satisfaction. Woo! She'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. She'll be here all week.
I always love her when she. I had to be like,
And I hit
oh
that
my
by
goodness
accident.
me, whoa, she just took me out here. Oh my god.
Wait a minute, here we go.
Let's hear you. Give her one. Give her a hard one. Try to name an actor. I bet she can link them. Just do one for us.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah, she said think of an actor and see if I can link him with Kevin Bacon. Sometimes I can do it right off the dome.
Mm, um,
What's your favorite actor?
Um, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Pitt is the person.
He's linked to Brad Pitt through Tom Cruise.
Oh wow,
Okay.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he's linked to Brad Pitt through Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise acted in Interview with the Vampire with Brad Pitt, and
Yeah.
Tom Cruise was with Kevin Bacon in A Few Good Men.
Amazing.
That's crazy. Oh my god. Okay,
But King
wow,
King
C,
C, why did you do that? Why did you do that? You know I'm addicted to that. I got off of it. I actually managed to curb the craving.
but
Why
maybe
did you
that's
do
your
it?
purpose.
To do 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon all my life.
Yo, that's
Oh
funny.
man. Yeah, so we would do that, and we would play a couple of games and we would talk about the Ball family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um and that's just how it is, you know what I mean? But doing this, look what happened. Why am I consistent with it? Because and shout out to Coach Joe. I got to give it to him. I got to give him credit where credit is due. Coach Joe and DJ said, "Look, your life's purpose or something that you're passionate about is talking about surviving cancer, is talking about the secret, is talking about the matrix, is talking about self-discipline and helping people. You should try doing streams doing that." And I fought it for a long time because I wanted to dance around in the ball verse, and Rev helped me see that the ball verse wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, even though I love the Ball family and I always will, and I always will support them. I can't wait to see what LaMelo does on this court. I can't wait. And I hope Jello is in the G League, and I hope Lonzo does well, even though I wish he would have went to Charlotte. But the bottom line is, that is not my true calling and passion is to focus on those people. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Just like I started talking to Jello the other day, you know what I mean? I mentioned Jello in the stream. If it applies, oh yeah, I got to talk about the
So,
Ball.
yeah.
But this is where my passion truly is, and that's probably why I've been on here every day, King C. It's true. It motivates you to do it every day. When you love what you're doing, it motivates you to do it consistently.
Definitely. Most definitely. It does motivate you, I mean, doing it consistently. I think that's very important.
Yeah. You
I mean,
there?
in my life, but these last few weeks for sure. I mean, just doing the late night lounge with you, and
Yeah.
doing this with you, Sister JJ. I learned a lot about just being consistent. And if you want something to be successful, and you have passion for it, why not do it? Why not finish it off? Why not start it off? You know what I mean? Even when you're tired and everything, because man,
Yeah,
these late night
man.
lounge, it gets tiring. It's a lot. But guess what? When you do it, man, you feel so good. At the end of it,
You
you're like,
really
God damn,
do.
that was a nice dream. You're like, oh my goodness me. I had great conversations. I feel accomplished, man.
Right, right.
Yes. I mean, you get
Yes.
elated and everything,
Yes. Yeah, you have a
So
sense of
I,
accomplishment.
you got a sense of accomplishment, man. So, and when you don't do it, you feel like, oh my goodness me. You just end up regretting it. And I
You
don't want to do
disappoint
that. I want to
yourself, right?
regret it. You disappoint yourself, yeah. And I want to do that. I want to follow my purpose. I want to do that. I want to make sure that regardless of how many people turn out, you know what? I did the stream.
I
I
There
think
you
did
that's
the
the
go.
stream.
worst
Oh,
person to be disappointed in is yourself. It's harder, you know what I
exactly.
mean? You don't like being
Exactly.
disappointed in others, but when it's yourself, you had that control over it and you still disappointed yourself.
You
I think that's what makes
you
it
do.
worse.
You know what? You two have just
Exactly.
come up with a combined great point. You are the only thing that you have control of. You can't control whether people are going to show up at the stream. And you can't control
Yep.
if people are going to log on and come on and see what you're talking about. But if you, to your point, King C, stay consistent doing it, they will come.
Yep.
They
But
will
They
eventually
will
people
come.
come.
it becomes part of their routine, just like it's your routine, and it
To
kind of
come
feeds off
listen.
each other, you know?
To come listen. And I appreciate
Unless
everybody that's in the chat. I appreciate you, King C, because you have stuck in there and you were probably like, I'm going to see if she stays consistent with this. And then I'll come on. You know what I mean? I'm not getting sized about this show and she keeps coming on and off. And I'm so glad that you came back because I'm here to stay,
she's here to
baby.
stay. She's here to stay,
He is
man.
cracking up about the Kevin Bacon thing. You know something too, and that's a good point, Jen. Worry. You know, people worry too much. Stop worrying about whether people are going to show up at the stream. Stop worrying about, is it going to come off this way or that way? Just get on there and be passionate and do your research. I mean,
Yep,
if you're going to talk about something, make sure you know what you're talking about, obviously, because you don't want people calling you out. But get on there and just have fun. You know what I mean? And
yep,
just get it
yep,
done. If you are interested in doing live streams and things like that, just get on there and have fun. But whatever you're doing, again, if you're trying to find your purpose, if you have fun doing it, like LaMelo Ball, we all witnessed LaMelo Ball get born into and bred into a family that were basketball players. Well, if you look at him on the court, what is one of the main things that people say about him?
Passion.
That
passion. Yep,
smile on his face tells you everything. He loves what he's doing. And it has nothing to
yep,
do with LeVar pushing him or anything. He legit loves basketball. And he
Yes.
was able to use that love of basketball to overcome a lot of adversity last season. Coming off the bench, third round pick, are you shitting me? You're bringing the third round pick
yep.
in off the bench and not
Talk
starting
about
him.
consistency. That's another thing. He's got that down, that he's been doing that forever. That's what he knows, and that's what he
Since the age of
continues to do.
3.
You know, I just thought of one
Yep.
thing too before I might have to jump out because I might have an order. But I wanted to say, live stream. If you really think about how that life's dream, it almost sounds the same.
Right.
It does.
That's
It does. It
good.
does. Yep, yep. It's so true, man. Like, it's so true. And honestly, I'm just so glad that I decided to do that because, like I always say, for years, I mean not years, but I mean the last few years, I've always wanted to have a channel and everything, but I always find every excuse in the book to not do it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that I kind of let go of the excuses and decided to get on with it. You know what I mean?
Just
Because
start.
so many
Get
times,
going. Right.
just start. Yeah, exactly, because it's so easy to tell yourself, man, nah, man, I don't want to do this. I want to do that, like what are people going to say about me and everything. You kind of have these doubts in your head that you have to do. You have to block it. You
It
have to
takes
block
so
it.
much
But
energy from you. That's energy that you could be using on your stream.
my stream is happy, and I
Energy you could
always
be using
remember that.
towards your purpose. Yeah.
Exactly. And I always remember that, and I'm like, yo, why am I putting so much energy and worrying about things that would not happen? It's just all in my head and everything. Now just get out of
Absolutely.
it. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
read
So
that from King C for me. I think that's a good ass question right there.
Do we have a real
yeah.
appreciation for others that are operating within their purpose? Because people can be so negative. Exactly. It's good to see, you know.
That's facts. That is facts. Because when
Yep.
you
Yep.
stop and take a look at it, you can have all kinds of things happen where people come at you negatively and completely throw you off track. And I'm not gonna go into detail, but you experienced that recently. I
Oh yeah.
mean, you
Hello.
know what I mean? Like
I,
very
I did.
recently. And
Yep.
it's
Yep.
you came through it unscathed. You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
if you focus what he took of the positive that was going on in life and focused on that instead of continuing to focus on the negative, I think is the biggest thing too, because you're always going to have people when you're doing your passion that love it and that are with you,
And you're
and
gonna
you're going to
have
have people that
haters.
aren't.
You're gonna have
You're
haters,
gonna have haters.
especially
Yep.
if you're doing your passion and you start succeeding at it. Oh, the haters are gonna come out of the woodwork.
Yep.
So you
Yeah, they
have to
will
be
come out.
prepared for it and stay steadfast in your mission to stay glued to your purpose.
The crazy thing, right? The crazy thing is that once I started seeing that I had a talent for this, just speaking to people and everything.
Uh
Because
huh.
I always knew I did, but just on the YouTube platform, like I just did not know that I was that gifted, and but people started trying to nitpick, on my personality or who I was and everything, telling me, calling me all types of names and everything. And then it's easy to kind of get down and be like, oh man, maybe this is not for me. But you kind of have to block all that, all those negative, um like all that negative energy. No, I can like, no, I can what I mean? And not allow that to change your, and not allow that to change just who you are, you know and what you
You
want
know
to do.
something?
Yeah.
We did a stream last week, didn't we, on obstacles, making them your stepping stones instead of roadblocks. And that's
That's
exactly
it.
what you did, my brother. That's exactly
Right.
what you did. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Look
Makes you
what happened.
stronger.
Now, if you have haters coming at you, okay, been there, done that. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah,
know
done
you're going to get through it because you
that.
got through it already. The
I got through it.
universe was telling you you're going to be successful. And let me go ahead and put a test in your way now because I want to prepare you for when this happens down the road and I want to do it early.
Yeah, exactly. I needed to go through that, man. I really did, and I'm so glad that, like, I always talk about the support and everything, and I had support from you, Queen, brother Rev,
Shout
shout out
out
to
to
brother
Rev.
Shout out to brother Rev and the youngins, and the whole the new media family in general. I had a lot of great support. So I truly appreciate the people that were in my corner and that supported me, because that is definitely that is something that when you do have, man, you're really grateful, and I really felt grateful at that moment. But especially the fact that I stood up, and I conquered these these fears that I
Demons.
had. Yeah, these demons, exactly.
Shout out to
Yeah.
New Media, man. Shout out to Self Made, Tab, Juju, Bartran. Brother Bartran had an absolutely explosive stream last night. Shout out to
It
you,
was
my brother. I learned a lot in that stream. And yeah, eugenics. Ah, I listened.
Yes, I
Okay.
am Jen.
I
I thought you
definitely
said
listened
Eugene.
and looked it up. So you know what I mean? It's a real thing, and I appreciate your knowledge that you bring to not only new media but to everybody that listens to your stream. And Bartran, don't get it twisted. Bartran is very talented musically. I love his music that he puts out. It's different, and that's what we need. We don't need the same thing over and over again. We need people that dare to be different, and he does that with
Yeah,
his music. You know what I mean?
I think I heard
yes,
some
yeah,
of his music.
Yeah, it's good.
yeah.
It's really good.
It's
Is
really
that
good.
one
Yeah,
from
shout out to both
Markrina Daniels?
artists.
Let me read that
She
real quick.
said because there are a lot of narcissistic people out here who tries to defeat one's purpose. Yes, like if they're jealous, then they try to put you down for it. I think is
Wow. That's narcissism should be outlawed
It should. It should. It
because
should.
it's
I
not
mean,
all about you. You know what I mean? We're
not
all
mm-hmm.
about
one.
you.
We're supposed to be
Yep.
lifting each other up.
Yep. Instead of putting each other down. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work like that. But unfortunately, there's just a lot of people that are, that just don't have that sort of mentality to uplift each other.
Something going on
And
with them themselves.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
they're compensating. They're overcompensating. You know what I mean? And usually you can tell when when they start lashing out or taking it out on others. But as long
Yeah.
as and another thing that helps you with your purpose is if you like look up to somebody that's done what it is you want to do. If you have a role model like you were talking about trading, and one of the things when I first got interested in trading, I started looking up Warren Buffett, because I've
Yep.
heard about Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett, one of his main traits that has made him so successful is staying on an even keel. I mean, he was like the
Hmm.
LaMelo Ball of trading. You know what I mean? He
Yep.
started trading
Yep.
at a very, very young age. A lot of people don't know that. He started trading as a kid because his dad was in it. And he grew up trading, like literally, like 12 years old, even before that. He was picking stocks,
Instead
you
of
know?
learning the alphabet, he was picking stocks off the stock
That's very
market, right?
true.
Yep.
It's like that's actually very true. That's a true statement. Truer than you realize. He preferred doing that type of cerebral activity. You know what
Which
I mean?
brings you
He
back to the LaMelo thing. Even though his dad might have pushed him, that passion was in there. Something, you can't tell a kid that age that he should be interested in stocks when he's wanting to watch Sesame Street or something,
he pushed all three of them,
But
and
it
look
was
who
in there.
excelled. The one who was the most passionate about it. One of the things we always say about Lonzo is the passion doesn't seem to be there. It was there initially when he was in college, but it doesn't seem like the passion's there. And the other day I was bitching about Jello didn't seem like he had the passion on the court and this, that, and the third. But LaMelo, there is no lack of passion whatsoever when he is out on that court. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You can see he
That means
really
that was
enjoys
his
the game.
purpose. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. You can see he really enjoys the game, basketball, and that's definitely something that we can learn. We can learn from a lot of these young kids out here, which
Yes,
is what
man.
we're Lamelo, which as it's as you get older, and that's one thing I definitely appreciate about you, Sister JJ. I mean, even though you don't look a day over 30, you look a yeah, you look so young, so young. But you're inspiration to me as a 28-year-old, because you always relate to me, to my experiences and everything. You never make me feel like, oh man, no, he's so young and everything, so I can't really. So that's a mistake a lot of quote unquote OGs make. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people that older than
Yeah,
you,
choose
like
your
they
words
kind of.
carefully, my brother. You
Choose my
stepped in
words
it with that one. I'm like, is he going there about my age?
One of the things that is great about how you can identify with people like that, and also like when people identify, like we've all been that certain age. I think what people end up doing is they forget where the person is that they're dealing with, and how he may have felt, even if you are just a tiny bit. I mean, you're 21, right? Just if
Yeah,
you're a
I
little
am.
bit older than him, then you
I've come.
remember where he
Yeah.
was at that point. Like when I talk to people that are younger, it's like, hey, I know where you were at this time, and you can get in
Age
their
is
head.
really truly nothing but a number. That's why
Just
of all ages, people who are older than me significantly and people who are significantly younger than me. I have no age. Yeah, in my mind, I mean, I legit in my mind have no age. I do not pay attention to it, and it has kept me looking very young, feeling very young, and it's the way. It's the fountain of youth. It's not in any makeup bottle. It's not in any fruit. It's not in any drink. It's within. If you really believe that you are just who you are and just progress and just learn all that you can and stop focusing on this wrinkle or this gray hair or that gray hair and stop focusing on that, trust you me, the body will literally break down that aging process. It does work. I'm living proof of it. And we see it all the time. Go look up on YouTube Annette Larkins. That chick is 80 years old and she looks like she's 40, you
I
know?
love her. I just shared her story the other day.
She looks
Again,
half her
I've shared it
age.
a bunch. She's
Yeah.
amazing,
Because
and her
she feels that
attitude.
way,
Yep.
and it helps that Of course, she's a vegan. You know, I mean, yeah, it doesn't come without work. You do have to make sure you take care of yourself. Obviously, it's not just going to happen overnight, but that's part of the thing. You know what I mean? It's not in a makeup bottle, like I said. It's taking care of yourself and taking care of your thoughts. Guys, I'm about to close out. Does anybody have anything that they want to add? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you. Yep.
Okay, yeah. You
Yeah.
have anything you want to add before we get out of here, DZ?
Oh, yes, Sister JJ. No, truly appreciate you and thank you so much for this lovely stream. It's always a pleasure and everything. And shout out to you for really providing me the opportunity to come in. And shout out to the whole gang in the chat, man. Truly appreciate it. And this was a great, like I say in every stream, I always learn so much about you and so much. So truly, it's such an honor to be part of this. So thank you so much.
It's an honor to have you, my brother, and
Yeah,
thank
thank you.
you.
No
You know,
problem.
Thank you for having me. I jumped on here and I always am going to jump on for 1 second and I end up staying because you are so interesting to talk to, both of you and all the people in the chat. Macrina Daniels, you always have such awesome things to say. I'm looking at her message still up there, and everybody. So thank you for letting me say my thoughts.
thank you, my sister, my lovely, lovely,
I was
lovely
saying, I'm
wife.
a little more than your sister.
And guys, I appreciate all of you, all the new media fam, all of the chat fam. You know what I'm saying? Queen Royalty, King C, Anthony King, Markrina Daniels. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to Rev, leader of the new school, baby.
King
New media
C's
academy.
coming up with another, or who? Yeah, that was who. Who's giving you the Kevin Bacon next time?
Yeah, King C. Next time you come up with one and give it to me on the next one. We'll play. We'll play.
You're
I,
amazing,
every
Sean.
time you come on here, give me a Kevin Bacon and I will run it down for you. You will not defeat me, King C. Anyway, guys, I love you guys,
We
and
love
we
you.
out.